mean everything to me because I know you mean everything to Christ. And Christ means everything to me.
I called on the Lord. I said, man, Father, this is real. Will you watch over them? Will you raise them up to be strong? I'm just a man with flesh. This is what you call for in your scriptures. You said they wore studs and fringes, they got it on. You said they will follow the Lord, they doing it. You said under your house shine, they ought to love one another. And they doing it.
We're in front of the Israeli School, Universal Practical Knowledge, the Philadelphia Division, here at 3226 Cheltenham Avenue in Philadelphia. We're standing in front of the school right now, getting a description of the 12 tribe sign that's been painted by one of the brothers that was in the school: Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar. Those are the 12 tribes of Israel.
Shalom. Shalom. You've been waiting for this day, so this day has finally come. A lot of you have been wondering where this knowledge that you've been hearing is coming from, and the powerful truth that you've been hearing, how this was established. Well, we finally were able to arrange for the priests to come down from New York and spend some time with us. And I'd like to introduce them if I can. These are some great brothers. We're very glad to have them with us. We want to make them feel as warm as possible because this is their work and the extension of their work and what they've laid down some time ago. I'd like to introduce, first of all, priest and Sixth Shield General, 4th in command in the nation of Israel, Lahab. I'd like to salute this brother, Majo. Barak. Yeshabiam, which means sit. And I'm going to turn it over now to Priest General Lahab.
Water, brother. I'd like to say this, starting off, we're very impressed at your school here, and we're very impressed to see that the brothers and sisters in Philadelphia think enough of the Most High and the Bible and the truth and your nationality to be a part of this, because most of the brothers and sisters are running from the truth.
Welcome to ISUBK Detroit. Check us out on all social media platforms. Classes are Monday through Saturday. Monday is the history class from 7 to 9 p.m. Tuesday is scripture breakdown. Wednesday is biblical law class. Friday, Lashawan Kodash, Hebrew language. Saturday, the Sabbath service. Check out our community service program. We have food and clothing drives, helping the people in need. And we also have felony expungement services available. Join us and get involved.
ironic.
You know the truth is the truth, that's all I know. Cry loud and spare not, you gon' get exposed. A few real niggas left, you not one of those. Real soldiers, we was born to stand 10 toes. If he ain't one West, that nigga not one of mine. He got a purple 12, me, I got a black 9. The truth is the wife of my youth, chopper my concubine. Had to die to get my rib, that bitch forever mine. You know the game, a bishop gotta be blameless. But GMS teaching niggas to be rapists. They screaming we snitch. When Jordan Morgan was killed by your brother, y'all ain't say shit. Real prophets only dwell in the UPK, PSA, we don't sign NDAs. Real prophets only dwell in the UPK, PSA, we don't sign NDAs.
Hey, 100 deep, 100 shields on, that's 100 priests. 100 boots, that's 200 feet. Tongue like a sword when I fucking speak. Teach you how to fish instead of fucking leech. Stop selling drugs instead of trying to fuck with me. Knowledgeable but I'm rude in my fucking speech. Life is about warfare, not no fucking peace. Hey bitch, I cry loud when I fucking speak. Make them wait a year before they fuck with me. Turn a street nigga to a fucking priest. Cross a priest and I promise you forever sleep.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas?
UPK soldiers got them killers with me. And I don't fuck with every spot cause it's too iffy. Real motherfucking prophet cause the Lord with me. But don't get that shit twisted, I got Drake's with me. Yeah, bitch, and that whole 50. Run up on me wrong, you gon' catch 60. Wait, you gon' catch 20. The other 30 for your homies, bitch, I got plenty. And I'll shoot this motherfucker till that clip empty. Taking orders from your bitch, you a fucking simpy. Shit, should be televised. The way I'm cutting niggas up, bitch, I'm a samurai. Niggas swear they in the truth, but telling hella lies. Stumping like you Greek, bitch, you Hellenized. The revolution gon' be televised. And what I see in my vision gon' leave you petrified.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas? UPK soldiers lead cowards and all. So fuck a gas stop. I came with 6 pumps in my car. My niggas ready to swing. We like kids at the park. So touch a chair around this bitch and we breaking your jaw. They think we Christian, but we not. Nothing about us is soft. I don't know what you niggas on, but that shit get you off. We booted up. We came to take zones for real. Black 40 under my garment. I be dressed to kill. Fourth dimension sitting linger. I be fresh for real. Putting scripts on your corners, but these here ain't pills. We rock covers. You official if you know those drills. Bread and water, you official if you know those meals. Yeah, you niggas soldiers get rolled over. You got police in your pocket, I got a judge in my holster. Oppressors out to get us, so remain sober. Or be chained to them chains till there's nothing that remains of us. A cult leader like Christ, we got the same culture. I bang on them, tell my enemies the reign's over. I up the sig and keep pulling like a chain smoker. The game ain't changed, One West stayed the same on them. One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas?
Niggas talking prophets, yeah, we got plenty. We the reason why it's Israelites around the city. Call Kazak, tells a rock, bring Shamara. We about to slide on them, see what niggas talking about. Young dog think he wise cause he a Kim head. That shit lame, they didn't survive, nigga, Kim is dead. Where I'm from, little nigga, is a dirty game. I pledge allegiance to Yahweh, bitch, I'm UPK. Nigga, let's talk bodies. Set up on your corner, wake up everybody. Big priest, until I'm dead deceased. The mission is complete until you're off the street. So y'all on the internet, stumping down the street. But take the poor and the weak. Touch your sister or brother, you gonna be sleep. But take the poor and the weak.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga?
Fucking with the brothers, then I'm giving out major pain. Clip full of ball heads, I'm shooting out Damon Wayne's. Driven ambition, I ain't never changing lanes. Wise as an old man, but I ain't slanging cane. This ain't a game, this shit way deeper than rap. You speaking the cap, but the shit y'all speaking is cap. I'm 5,000, but I still keep it a stack. I'm in the truth, not cause back then I was seeking the fact. Cry loud for the niggas that's deep in the back. And the Lord with me, ain't no reason for keeping the strap. We peep the attacks, niggas say we ain't speaking the facts. Stealing breakdowns every time we teaching in class. Niggas snitching, y'all out here squeaking with rats. We be on the street corners teaching that Jesus is black.
We on 125th Street, Harlem, nigga, you see where we at?
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga.
Test. Let me check and see if all this stuff is going. Shalom. Let's see. Let's go live. Test. Yep. Got that going. We got up there. Okay. Shalom, Israel. All right, got it going. Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah Brakatah, the brothers. Yahweh Shemalatah by Hashem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. We are ISUBK, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And what we do is we are here under the leadership of Commandant General Yohana, right? ISUBK been around since 1969, right? Teaching blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics, who they are from 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Now we spread it all over the globe. We taking over, right? Couple things. One is make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the classes, right? We got classes damn near every day of the week, right? You'll find a school teaching blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics who they are according to this Bible every day of the week right here in ISUBK. In the Detroit chapter where we at right now, 12355 Gratiot Avenue is where we are at, right? And what we're doing right now tonight is the history class. In the history class last week, we spoke about the gods of Egypt. Spoke about the gods of Egypt. Let me get it. Shalom Christ. What you need, sir?
Go to the camera and there's some buttons on the side that's gonna get that visual looking different.
Come on. All right, walk me through it. All right, I'm in the camera. Thumbnail. Is it under thumbnail? You got a thumbnail over here. On the side, right and left side facing to see OIS. See, shutter,
That some would say Iris, A-dash-N. You got Iris A-dash, you got O-I-S, O-I-S. That's 6. And you got A level, then you got shut. Yeah, it does that, but it doesn't do anything when I hit the oh, it did. I need a touch, no. So hit the iron button, the little white hand pop up. Move it up, yeah. I hit the A level, try to bring that up. Let's let it go with that. Let's see minus and plus minus 0. I know that shut, but it won't change. It won't change. Go. All right, go, sir.
Shalom, Lord Christ. Sorry about that, Israel. So let's get back to where we was at. So last week we were talking about the gods of Egypt, and right. And the great thing about our power that we serve is that we see many instances where our power use what our enemies consider power and authority. There were multiple gods in Egypt, right? They had at least one for every day of the year, every day of the week, every day of the year, every month. They got these months gods, this god, that god. Then they got things that they celebrated that was similar to the things that we celebrate over here in America, like Valentine's Day and Christmas and all that kind of stuff. So those days are each days that represent or worship a different deity in Egypt, right? So, the first couple of gods that we've seen, just to backtrack what happened, what we went through last week. Last week we learned that the Egyptians worship a god of the Nile. It was called Hapi, and with them worshiping that god, our God, turned the water into blood to the Egyptians. Now, what you got to understand is that, our brothers and sisters of the Israelites also drank from that same river. So with them being plagued, with the Egyptians being plagued by that river turning into blood, it looks as if it was blood to them. It didn't bother us. If they were to drink it, they would become terribly ill. It didn't bother us. So why the Lord is plaguing the Egyptians right? Those plagues, that plague at the time, it didn't bother us, right? You know, and then they got other gods that look like frog, another god that looked like a frog, and you know the story where the Lord plagued them with frogs, and these frogs were in everything. It was such an infestation that the Egyptians said when you go to dip water out of the river, the frogs were in it. When you open up pots, when you open up cabinets, the frogs were in it. They were everywhere, in the bedroom, in the house, you know, everywhere, to the point where then the frogs had died on their streets, right? On their streets, and then it made the slime from the decaying frogs. You know, think about slime from a decaying body, and you step in, it's slippery, it's smelly, you know, and still continue to plague the waters. So even though the Most High God had turned the plague off, Pharaoh hardened his heart. And with Pharaoh hardening his heart, which being hard-headed, he forgot that the Most High God had turned the plague off, because he told Moses, like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and allow you to, you know, I'm gonna allow your people to go. But then right when the plague had let up, and this happened with each individual plague, right when the plague let up, Pharaoh hardened his heart. I mean, he went back to, like, you know what, this is just, he went to the thinking that it was just Moses and not God. It was just Moses, because Moses was the how do you say it? Moses was the messenger, right? And he figured that, you know, he has sorcerers and musicians and stuff like that, and they could do some whatever crap that they did. So now Pharaoh's thinking like, hey, you know, the plague let up, right? He thinking Moses bringing in these frogs. You know, you got the plague of the locust. You got, you know, so many other different plagues that we'll go over, right? He thinking Moses brought these plagues in, and then once Pharaoh agreed to release the people, what ended up happening is Pharaoh was like, oh, the plague is up. Oh, no, get them back. Let's go get these Egyptians back, right? And understand not Egyptians, let's go get these Israelites back. And you got to understand, just the same way that over here in America, Black man, Native American man, Hispanic man, America cannot function without you. America cannot function without its slaves, right? Understand that you are a slave in today's American society, and this America cannot function without you, right? Think about what happened right after COVID. What you got to understand is COVID was a plague from the Most High God, right? They stopped playing football. They stopped playing basketball. Understand that these are, if you're familiar with like the Colosseums and how they had these different war games and stuff like that inside the Colosseums, right? Baseball, basketball. Now, there's nothing wrong with, you know, a little entertainment, but these things are similar to the games that they had at these Colosseums, and it was just designed as a distraction to keep the people from, what it was said was, it kept the people from going to war, right? And it kind of kept their mind off the oppression. Because now, think about it. If we're here in Detroit, with us being here in Detroit, you have what teams you got here? You got the Lions, the Tigers, you got Red Wings, you got Pistons, and you'll have some of the most, you'll go out there, and I went to the games before, and you see your oppressor out there, and you could be sitting next to him during that football game, during that basketball game. Y'all, yeah, y'all right there together rooting on this team. But then as soon as that game is over, you go back to being the same old oppressor he was doing. You a nigga in the parking lot. You're a nigga in the parking lot, right? So while your team is behind, you're back there like you're all together in unison. Like, yeah, we got to win this game. And so, you know, you're so intense and it's impactful. And you're sitting there like, oh, yeah, we got to do this. We got to do that because we need to win the game. Get the ball to Chauncey Billups in the basketball game, or give it to this person, give it to that person, you know, pass it to Calvin Johnson, right? And that's what you're hoping for. And you and that oppressor is hoping for the same thing. Now, what you have to understand, Israel, is that you and your oppressor cannot have the same God, right? And it's proven. We've shown you that here in some of the things that we ran last week, and like I said, it's just a recap. We're showing you that you and your oppressor cannot have the same God. And the reason why you and your oppressor cannot have the same God, because one, you are a slave, right? And the oppressor, right? He's not praying that his slaves to get free. You are praying that you can be free. You want to, you want to be free. You no longer want to be a slave. And since you no longer want to be a slave, you and your oppressor can't pray to the same God, because you can't be free and a slave at the same time. Because your oppressor is going to pray that he multiplies slaves. He's going to pray that his slaves are diligent and efficient, and you just praying for freedom. And with you praying for freedom, you're praying for freedom. You want that pressure. You want that yoke of iron off your neck. You want that pressure off your back. And the oppressor is saying, no. You get some more yoke of iron. You get some more whips on your back, and things of that nature. So last week we were in the reading out of the book of Josephus. Now, understand that the book of Josephus, this is the book of Josephus. This is not scripture, y'all. This is not scripture. It's just a historian, right? This historian is an oppressor, an Edomite, right? It's a historian that is what this historian then is doing is he's gathered together he's gathered together documents that dictated what was going on in history. And what he did was he put it together. And what we do is we use this book to help us understand what was going on at the time. Now, where we get our confirmation from is out of the scriptures, right? We don't get it from the book of Josephus, or the book of whoever it is, Nick Nack, Patty Whack, give you dog bone. We don't get it from none of them. Well, we get it from the scriptures. And with us getting it from the scriptures, we understand that where am I going? We understand that the scripture is the word of the Most High God. And with the scriptures being the word of the Most High God, I'm getting this little bitty writing again, y'all. So what we're reading out of, this is the book of Josephus. This is the Antiquity of the Jews. Right. And so let's see where we're at. We're going to go to book 2. How the Hebrews conducted under Moses. No. Okay, cool. All right, we're going to start at paragraph 4. And we're starting with paragraph 4. We're going to see that what was going on in that time, what someone else seen, right? Now we read the scriptures. If you go read the scriptures, it's Exodus. Exodus is where these plagues were happening at the time. Go get thee in the morning, and we'll see that if you started about, I want to say chapter 7. So God gave us instructions in 6 to Moses, right? The plagues of the frogs was like right around chapter 7. So last week we went over the plague of the frog. I think that's where we ended at, was the plague of the frogs, right? And the river turned into blood, right? So understand that Moses right? According to the scriptures, and we right here, just still recapping on last week. It says, this is Exodus 7 and 20. It says, and Moses and Aaron did so as the Lord commanded. And he lifted up his rod and he smote the water that were in the river in the sight of Pharaoh. So Pharaoh is sitting there. He's sitting there watching Moses do these things. So when he watched Moses smote, which means to strike the river with his staff, right? So imagine Pharaoh standing there, he sees Moses strike the river with his staff. The river turns to blood, right? And these things, what he's seeing Moses do, that's why Pharaoh decided to blame, like, oh yeah, this is not God, this is just Moses and his trickery. Pardon me. Right? It says, and in the sight of the servants and in all the waters that were in the river were turned into blood. He said, and the fish was in the river died. And the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river, and there was blood throughout the land of Egypt. And the magicians, see, understand, Pharaoh had magicians. He says, and the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened. Neither did they hearken unto them as the Lord had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house. Neither did he set his heart unto this also. Verse 24. And all the Egyptians digged around about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the waters of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after that the Lord had smitten the river. Right. So Pharaoh, he's seen Moses strike the river with his rod, with his staff. And when he's striking the river with his staff, Pharaoh think all these things, imagine what Moses did when the plague of the frogs came, then when the plague of the locusts came, then the plague of the lice came, right? And understand is that the Egyptians had gods that looked like these, like the frog, like the lice, like the locusts, right? The water, sir. You have to show. Just take a. Kind of. So is that something that so somebody just accidentally hit the switch, or is this kind of okay? Sorry, the water. If you allow, if you want to take over the class, it's up to you, sir. What I'm going over right now is the plagues and comparing it to the book of Josephus. Kind of, sir. So, right, and so like I was saying, is that Pharaoh saw Moses perform these actions before a plague had this plague of the blood and the water had come forth. So with Pharaoh, he's standing right there. Understand, he doesn't believe in the Most High God. So what's going on? He stepped back and he's like, damn, I just seen Moses strike the water and it turned into blood, right? So when the plagues came after that, Pharaoh was like, hey, Moses is doing it. There's no God that's doing these plagues. It's Moses. Moses is doing these plagues. For somehow he got a bunch of whatever. He got something to die in the water. And he's thinking of it scientifically. If what you got to understand is that the oppressor, he's going to try to explain. He's going to try to explain. Look at me, rush. I ain't even set up correctly. I'm about to get checked for that. I understand. Sir, you want to get here? Oh, you can do it. Yeah. So with the oppressor tries to explain scientifically, and there's a mic right there if need be. The oppressor tries to explain scientifically these plagues, right? There's every time something happens in the something happens that is what they call it, natural disasters. You know, anytime you have a natural disaster, understand the oppressor. We understand here in Israel, right? We understand that it's a act of God. We understand it's an act from the Most High. So COVID, it's an act from the Most High. When you see these tidal waves that wash up on shore and wash these houses away, like in Japan, they had what you call that when the big tidal wave comes through and wash their ass away because they need a bath. Like
tidal wave.
What's it called? A tsunami. When you see the tsunamis wash up on shore, what you got going on in California? You got California is burning up right now. These are what the oppressor would consider natural disasters. Maybe everything except for the fires in California, because they said that somebody set that fire, right? But look how much land that is burned. Look how much trees and houses, and people have to leave. These plagues make you have to leave the area that you're in and go somewhere else. In COVID, we had to quarantine from each other, people that you've seen, people that you talk to every single day, right? You couldn't go see your mother. You couldn't go see your father, right? You have to stay 6 feet. Think about it. You have to stay 6 feet away from your loved ones because the Most High God plagued this earth. And then what the scientists are going to try to prove, because what they try to do is disprove God and prove science. So the scientists are they try to disprove that this is an occurrence of the Most High, and say, all right, cool, we got some Moabites eating rat and bat and stuff like that over in Moab, and with them eating rat and bat in Moab, they they got this virus and they spreaded it across the globe, right? You had American civilizations, African civilizations, European civilizations shut down because of COVID, right? Now, over in Egypt at the time, we went all the way up to the plague of the hail. And they said that, understand that Egypt is a warm climate. So the plague of the hail, they said the hail was so bad that it was worse than the plague of any northern countries. And you understand, northern countries get the cold and the snowfall that can have huge size hail balls fall from the sky and destroy property, right? So that was just a quick recap and synopsis of what we were going over. So I'm gonna get back to the book of Josephus, and we're going to go to the Antiquity of the Jews, book 2. We're going to go to start at paragraph 4. It says, but when Pharaoh did not even then yield to the will of God, but he gave leave to the husbands to take their wives with them, yet instead the children should stay behind. Understand is that Blacks, Native American, Hispanics, our Hispanic brothers and sisters are dealing with it right now, is that you're not going to leave your children behind, right? Pharaoh knew that that the Hebrews would come back if they left. The Israelites would come back if they left their children behind, right? He didn't want his workforce. Understand, Pharaoh had free labor. Think about slavery in America, free labor, right? And what having free labor, Mississippi, right? A slave state, right? A very live and vivid slave state at the time, was the richest state in the world during slavery. Now it's the poorest. And that's all because of free labor, right? So imagine Pharaoh has thousands and thousands of these Israelites, working for him for free, building things, making things, right? Understand is that your oppressor does not have to think when he has you as a slave, because you're going to come up with ways so that you can continue to keep your family together, right? So you're going to come up with the cotton gin, right? You're going to come up with the train. You're going to come up with what are some other inventions? You're going to come up with the stoplight. peanut butter, right? It's the 99, I say 99% of these inventions that make a workload easy. You come up with the wrench, right? Understand the adjustable wrench, or what's today's society called the monkey wrench. The monkey wrench was invented by a black man, right? So what you have to understand is, how did it get the term monkey wrench? Because what did they call you, black man? They called you a monkey. They called your ass a monkey. And with them calling you a monkey, so this black man invented this wrench. Oh, give me a wrench. What kind of wrench you want? You want an open-end wrench? You want a closed-end wrench? No, I want the monkey wrench. And everybody knew what it was. They went, okay, cool. They grabbed the adjustable wrench. They grabbed the pipe wrench and say, hey, here's the pipe wrench, because it's called a pipe wrench, right? It has an adjustable bite on it to adjust the size of whatever pipe you're going to open up. Let's go get the monkey wrench. So let's keep going.
App you got right there?
This is just the book of Josephus in PDF. Yeah.
All right, you got a PDF reader?
Do I got a no, sir?
All right, I'll hook you up with one. That way you can read it in the audio book form and be done with the whole book in like
a couple days, a couple hours. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So right here we go. It say God resolved to punish his wicked with several sorts of calamities, and they were so worse than the foregoing, which yet had a general afflict to them. For their bodies and terrible boils, right? Has terrible boils breaking forth in blains, while they were already inwardly consumed, and a great part of the Egyptians perished in this manner. But the king had understand is that these plagues are causing the Egyptians to, wow, I'm a big fella now. These plagues are causing the Egyptians to die, to become to pass away. And with the plagues of Egypt causing the Egyptians to pass away, understand that they're getting sick, right? They're coming up with these type of ailments. This right here is the boils, which I believe that was like the hemorrhoids, right?
That's Barack got talking about. That's major close.
If you want to, you want me to get some in the comments while you
well, I ain't got nothing right now. I'm gonna just listen to what you got, and then I'll chime in. I don't know nothing about the Josephus because I haven't been able to get up into the Josephus yet, but I got a copy of it.
Kind, right? So where we're at. So inward boils, the Egyptians started peril. He said, but the king was brought to reason by this plague, right? And we talked about the hail. It said hail was sent down from heaven, and such hail that the climate of Egypt had never suffered before, nor was it like which fall in the climate in wintertime, but was larger than that which falls in the middle of spring to those that dwell in the northern and northwest regions. The hail broke down their bowls laden with fruit. And it said, after this, a tribe of locusts consumed the seed, which was not hurt by the hail, so that the Egyptians all hope for future fruit of the grounds were entirely lost, right? So understand these huge hail balls, right? Now, just not too long ago, maybe about a year ago, it was hail in one of these European countries that they said was the size of basketballs, and this hail destroyed everything when it come down. Now, that's in the northern region where it gets those cold temperatures, and it's possible for that hail to accumulate to that size, right? This is how you know this is a plague of God, because these are things that hail should melt before it get anywhere near the ground in Egypt. Understand this is hot. It's an African country, so the lows are probably 60 degrees in Egypt. the highs are probably, and I'm just estimating about 100, 120, well, about 120 degrees. It's probably like living in the summertime in like Arizona, Phoenix, or something like that, right? So everything that came down, this hail came down, destroyed all their bowls that carried their fruit, their seeds, right? And everything that the hail didn't destroy, the locusts, it said a tribe of locusts came through and devoured the rest of the seeds. So now they have these seedlings were their future seeds. So after they go ahead and harvest, right, they allow the ground to rest through the wintertime, and then they'll go back and plant these seeds in the springtime so that they can have a harvest again in the fall. Right? So we're going to jump to 6. It says, but when God has signified that which one plague he would compel the Egyptians to go to the Egyptians to let Hebrews go, he commanded Moses to tell the people that they should have a sacrifice ready, and they should prepare themselves on the 10th day of the month of Antichus against the 14th, which month is called by the Egyptians fair month, Nisan by the Hebrews, right? So this is what we're about to do, is we're about to get up on Passover.
So now, before you get into it, right? Did you get it? How long have you been reading this book on the history class?
Oh, this is just I've been looking at this like a couple weeks.
All right,
how long?
Couple weeks. Did you get into the telling the people like the history behind the person who wrote the book?
Yeah, we did that because this is part 2 of the class.
All right, so
this is we got into that last week, and this week we're breaking it down to the Passover, why we celebrate the Passover, and it was due to this plague of the firstborn.
Okay, just refresh me on the history behind the book, because it's the Josephus, just in case the audience wasn't here last week.
Well, we went over that earlier in the class. That's why I can do it again, sir. Yeah,
just give me a brief
just
summary.
Basically, Josephus is a historian, right? And what I was saying is that this is not scripturally based, but what it is just telling a story of what happened to the Hebrews during that time. I said,
now, do you know the nationality of him?
He's Edomite.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, we went through that. This is an Edomite. So they're a non-believing Edomite, which he's telling his side of what's going on. So what's going on, he's going to use words and terminology that is not going to be what we use, because we understand God did this. Right. We understand that our power did this, right? To just similar to Pharaoh. Pharaoh thought it was just a trick for Moses.
Right.
Yep. So.
All right. So just before you go into it, make sure everybody, this gonna be this QR code gonna be on the screen into the Passover. So make sure y'all click that link and pay your Passover fee. You can use your phone and scan that QR code on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You trying to get a little jazzy now?
Well,
you get a little jazzy.
Somebody else created it in the other, I think in Atlanta or something. One of the brothers. But yeah, this is easy for you to pay your Passover fee. So,
oh, that makes it much easier. Yeah. So like he was saying, you go ahead, like, share, subscribe to the classes, right? Click that QR code. Make sure you pay your Passover fee. Look, it's going to be so many things going down at the Passover. We have the Black Party every year. Y'all get out there. We're going to have so many artists from Israel performing and going on stage. I think that sister's supposed to come back this year again.
Past Detroit going up in there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Past Detroit going to be up in there.
So
Israel is becoming celebrities. Yes. And the main thing we got to do is push this work. And the main thing you want to do to get a piece of heaven, come down to the Passover and see what the Lord does. That Christian church ain't heaven. They in there arguing, backbiting, want to kick each other ass. That's not what, you're not going to get a piece of heaven. You might get some singing that'll make you think you in heaven, but this Passover going to give you a piece of the kingdom of heaven. You could go ahead. Yeah. I ain't gonna throw you off.
No, you ain't gonna throw me off, sir. Matter of fact, since I got you here, I'm glad you're here. I'm gonna throw a question to you, right? You gotta understand this is that and this may be off topic. Well, it is definitely off topic. You have people like understand is that ISUPK Israel is the home of the truth. If you're not in the ISUPK, you're not in the truth. If you're going to these fake Israelite groups, if you're going to these these Christian churches, you know, the Buddhists, the mosques, the Muslim mosques, you go into any so-called religious organization to seek salvation, you're not going to find it, right? You're not going to be led to it. You're not even going to have a clue what to do, how to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God if you're not in the ISUPK. You may get a glimpse because you're outside and you're following somebody else. I shouldn't kill my brother. Thou should not kill, right? But there are other laws, statutes, and commandments that we got to find, that we have to follow here in the UPK, right? And everything is documented in your Bible. It's all documented in your Bible. Now, with that being said, right, you can't go out here and get an amplified Bible. You can't get a new the new amplified version or some those different versions of the Bible. They're not translated correctly, and with them not being translated correctly, they're close, but it's not all there, right? And with it not being all there, when it misusing certain translations, if you misuse a translation, you're going to get the wrong understanding, right? If you don't have an apocrypha, right? If your Bible doesn't have an apocrypha, you're missing 14? You're missing 14 books of what happened during our rise and fall.
So I think I did throw you off.
You did throw me off, but that's all right.
So, let's get it.
We're gonna get back to this.
Getting ready to go over the Passover and in the Josephus of what they're saying about the Passover and Josephus, right?
Well, how things got started. Come on, sir. So let's go to right now. If you're in the book of Josephus, this is the second book, Antiquity of the Jews. We're at paragraph 6. It says, "But when God had signified that with one plague he would compel the Egyptians to let Hebrews go, he commanded Moses to tell they should have a sacrifice, and they should prepare them on the 10th day of the month of Antichus against the 14th, which month is called by the Egyptians Harmonth, Nicene by the Hebrews, but the Macedonians called it Xanticus, and that should carry the Hebrews with all they had. According, he had got the Hebrews ready for their departure, and having sorted the people into tribes, he kept them together in one place. But when the 14th day was come, and all were ready to depart, they offered the sacrifice and purified their houses with the blood, using bunches of hops for the purpose. And when they had supped, they burned the remainder of the flesh as just ready to depart, right? So understand is what's going on now is that Moses is getting the Hebrews ready for the departure, right? For their exodus, so that they can leave Egypt, right? And I'm gonna get it here in the scripture just to show you what was going on at the same time, right? So that Josephus is aligned to the Bible, not the Bible being aligned to Josephus.
So now, is he talking about the Passover preparation where you cook the food and whatever you don't eat that day, you burn it because it just says something about burning?
Yeah. So they understand is that he is saying that, all right, they've already wiped the blood over the doorways, right? They already done that. They getting ready to eat. and they getting ready to take off. That's why I wanted to finish this here. I'm gonna finish this passage, then I'm gonna jump to the scripture that align with it. Right? Oh crap. So
what century? Just one more question. What century was this guy born that's writing this?
I couldn't tell you off rip, sir. I have to go to the front of the book and,
Let me see.
and go to the information about him. Right. So it says, so when they purified the houses with blood with bunches of hops for the purpose, and when they had supped, they burnt the remainder of the flesh as just ready to depart. Whence it is that we do still offer the sacrifice in like manner to this day, and call the festival Pascha, which signifies the feast of the Passover, because on that day God passed over us and sent the plagues upon the Egyptians, for the destruction of the firstborn came upon Egypt that night, so many that the Egyptians who lived near the king's place persuaded Pharaoh to let the Hebrews go. Accordingly, he called for Moses and bid them gone, as supposing that if once the Hebrews were gone out of the country, Egypt should be free from his miseries. They also honored the Hebrews with gifts, some in order to get them to depart quickly, and others on account of their neighbors and friendship they had with them. Right? So what's going on is that the Egyptians, after the plague of the firstborn, right? After the plague of the firstborn, the Egyptians wanted the Hebrews out of their country. They didn't want them there no more. Like, understand is they understood, the Egyptians understood, right? This was the Egyptians. Just back it up. The Egyptians, after the plague of the firstborn, so the firstborn and everything was killed. Firstborn son, firstborn rat, right? Firstborn roach. If you have some roaches in your house, the firstborn roach was gone, dead, unalive, right? The cattle, horses, cows, all unalive. Birds, unalive. Fish was already, most of them was already died because was unalive because of the plague of the blood in the river. But they were still walking around or swimming around unalive, right? So all these things went down in Egypt with the plague of the firstborn, right? So the Egyptians went to Pharaoh. Pharaoh's their ruler, their king. And that'd be like let's see, one of the oppressors going to Trump, like, hey, kick these niggas out the land because the Lord is kicking our tail because they still here, right? So the Lord has just unalived all the firstborn of Egypt, right? Say except for the Hebrews who performed the sacrifice, wiped the blood over the doorway, and got prepared to leave, right? So we're gonna go here, and this is Exodus chapter 12, right? Let's see. Do I want to jump to 12 or do I want to get some context to start from the beginning? Okay, yeah. So, all right, yeah, because it's right here in Exodus is going to explain what happened at that time. So this is Exodus chapter 12. And it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be for you the month of the year to you. So understand that the Passover, this month right here that they're talking about, this month is the first month of the year. So you have New Year's celebration. This world, the people in this world has a New Year's celebration January 1st. That's not the new year. Everything is frozen and still dead at the time, right? So since it's frozen and still dead at the time, it's not the new year. It's definitely not the new year considered concerning the Most High God. He said the new year is near the Passover, right? It says, verse 3, it says, speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of the month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. Verse 4, if the household be too little for a lamb, let him and his neighbor next to him, right? So he's telling them how to sort up the lamb, right? How much lamb they should have, right? If you got, basically it was going to say here, and the reason why I'm gonna breeze through this because of time factors. So he's saying that, all right, the house is too small, give them part of a lamb. The house is too big, give them enough so every person in the house can have some lamb, right? So I'm gonna jump to 7 real quick. No, I'm gonna jump to 6. It says, and ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Understand, that's what Josephus said, right? Josephus was saying what happened at the time. And what he said was like, they got a lamb on the 10th day and they kept it to the 14th day, right? And the whole assembly in the congregation of Egypt shall kill it in the evening. So on the 14th day in the evening, that's when they're going to unalive the lamb, and with them unalive, basically sacrifice the lamb. It says, and they shall take of the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts and the upper door post of the house, wherein they shall eat it. So they're going to take the blood, they're going to sacrifice this lamb, they're going to take this the lamb's blood of both of the side posts. Right? Think about your door. You got a door. You're going to take this blood, you're going to smear it up the side post, and then you're going to smear it across the upper doorway, right? Now, to an Egyptian at the time, the Egyptians are looking at these Israelites like they just smeared lamb blood all over the front of their house. Why would they do that? Understand is that they're thinking like, okay, this is going to bring, you think about what the blood of an animal do if you was to put that on your door, right? Currently, you'll see the flies and you'll see all those type of things go on. You can cause sickness, right? The Egyptians are seeing this and they're thinking it's weird, right? Understand these Egyptians are Africans. These Africans are seeing these Hebrews smearing. They're like, this is weird as, such. This is weird. But at the same time, they're thinking it's weird for the Egyptians to do that. I mean, for the Hebrews to do that when they allow horses to urinate on. It's part of their sacrifices, right? Part of their worshiping. So what's weird? You smearing blood on the doorway of your house, or are you allowing a horse to urinate on you? What's weirder, Israel? Would you sit there and allow this horse to just, and a horse probably got a couple liters of urine when he goes. So you just gonna sit there and allow this horse to urinate on you? No, you're crazy as hell. Verse 7, it says, and they shall take the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts and on the upper doorposts of the house, wherein they shall eat it, right? So they're going to strike this, put this blood on the side post and the upper post in the house that they're going to eat the sacrifice at. It says, and verse 8, it says, and they shall eat the flesh in the night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs that they shall eat it, right? So you go ahead and put your herbs on there, you roast that lamb with, today you would probably call it grilling, right? You'll go ahead and throw it on the grill or something like that, or you'll put it in the oven, right? It says, verse 9, say, eat not of it raw. Israel, we don't eat raw lamb and hamburger and stuff like that. That's something our oppressor does. We don't do that. We don't eat the blood of an animal. This is a sin to eat the blood of an animal. So understand is that the Lord, our God, is telling them not to do that. So nor sodden all of it with water, but roast it. So it's telling them not to boil it, but roast it with fire, right? Roast with fire. So let's jump to 9. It say, eat it not raw, nor sodden it at all with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs, and with the pureness thereof. Jump to verse 10, right? So it's right here with the pertinence thereof. Verse 10, and ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth until the morning ye shall burn it with fire. Right? So you take your field and eat it all up. Anything left over that you can't eat, you burn it up. You burn it up with fire. You destroy it. Right? You destroy it. Verse 11, and thus shall eat it with your loins girded up, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. Understand this, Israel. You got to eat this and be ready to get the hell on. You're going to eat and go. Remember, what's that term? They say, people say, I hate to eat and run. I hate to eat and run, right? When you eat, you better be ready to go, because this is going to be a meal that's going to energize you so you can go ahead and get the hell away from these Egyptians. Sir?
And this is the heavy part. All of those plagues just got done hitting the Egyptians. So now he wants us to eat this Passover lamb fast with your boots on, aggressively, just like I done seen movies where the military is scooping up rice and just eating real quick because they got to go out to battle. It's not a time to lounge. We're not dining. You see what I'm saying? The other point about it is Christians. See, this is a military way, a militant way to eat this Passover meal. Christians got us running around looking for goddamn eggs. They got us running around looking for Easter eggs, dressing up in the brightest suits. That look, it ain't nothing militant about it. You can easily be spotted in that bright ass suit.
And then they have Easter dinner, sir. What do they do at Easter dinner? They sit down, they talk to you. You're sitting at the table. At Easter dinner, you sitting at the table with the man that assaulted you as a child, that took advantage of you as a child. You got to sit at that table with him.
Trying to
please your mama.
Trying to get over it.
Yeah.
You know, having all kind of stupid thoughts of the action over and over again while you eat.
Like it's the whole time you sit there, I'm here to please my mama, and then in the back of your mind, you're hoping that he don't chew up a piece of the ham fully when he swallows it.
So you know, this is not the way America taught us how to celebrate Easter, which is the fake version of their Passover or whatever. The Bible says Easter is the Passover. They got us celebrating Easter and these two type of meals, and the way we celebrating it is the total opposite.
If I may, sir,
go ahead.
Not the Bible say that Easter is the Passover.
I mean, Easter means
America. America has you understanding or believing that Easter is the Passover, right? Now, what you have to understand that Easter represents the Passover, right? Then it's going to tell you Easter is when Christ went to the cross, right? So it has multiple meanings, which it means nothing.
I'm talking about when you go into the Hebrew word.
The
word Easter means Pascha,
which is for Passover.
Which means Passover, but it has nothing to do with the Easter today. That's basically.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with sir. So what we're being taught is that when you have that so-called Easter dinner, you sit down, you relax, you loosen up your belt so you can get some more food in there. Think about the things that you do, right? According to what the Lord told you to do here in verse 11, right? You take your shoes off because mama don't want you to walk on the carpet because she just got that brand new carpet. She'll spend $500,000-$600,000 for the carpet alone. The house is falling apart, but there's new carpet in there, right? You take your shoes off. You're watching it. What's going on during that time? Is it basketball? Football? No, it ain't football. Baseball. It's basketball probably. So you probably watching the basketball game, right? You seeing LeBron James run down the court and dunk on folk. You got your belt loose. Your shoes is off, right? You relax while you're slowly consuming this food.
And to keep people from feeling comfortable about all these thoughts, you sitting there, you waiting to get unalived by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's how relaxed you are. You're waiting to die.
And not
you so relaxed, you waiting to get unalive. You're not like the Lord told us to behave in the Passover in the ancient biblical past.
Come on.
See what I'm saying? Because right now, people probably thinking, you know what? I'm gonna watch the game on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, set yourself up for failure by doing that.
Come on. Understand that these Hebrews, they weren't ready to watch no game, right? They weren't preparing to watch no game. They weren't preparing to have a game night at the house. You game night. We're gonna chill. We're gonna party, right? They wasn't prepared to do that, right? Right here in verse 11, this is 12, verse 11. It says, "And thus shall eat it, and with your loins girded," right? With your shoes on your feet, your staff in your hand. You got to eat this like you're ready to go to war, right? You got to be prepared to go to war. You sitting there, you got your strap, you got your shoes tied up, you're eating, you're looking out because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's about to happen. All you're doing is performing and doing what the Lord told you to do. You don't know what's going to happen next, right? So you got to be prepared and ready for anything. And that's what you say, with your loins girded, right? Get your war belt on. Get ready to move, right? This is going to be a strategic move. We're going to move all these people at one time. Imagine if you're moving 200,000 people at one time, right? It has to be organized. It has to be militant. You got to be ready to go, right? And then this is what's going on right now with the Hebrews, right? So it says, "Your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste." Understand what haste means, right? You're going to eat this in a hurry. You're not going to sit there, sit back, watch the game. Hey, Kodash, I'm eating on something. You say, "Damn, you shouldn't go up there and dunk on that boy like." You're not eating like that. I'm like, Kodash got his food. I got my food. We're about to eat because we're about to go. Right? We're going to war.
Your kids, hurry up and eat that goddamn food.
Shut up, talk and eat. Shut up and eat. That's what you do. You shut up and eat. You eat it in haste. You got to be ready to go because when the Lord say move, move, right? It says, now we jump to verse 12. It says, "For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night." The Lord said, "I will pass through the land of Egypt this night and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and of beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord." Right? Understand this. So we got any comments? Can you read the comments? I can't see them.
I just made them bigger just now. So it says, if you don't mind, say it out loud for me. Salakia, sir, find out what era was Josephus was. So I just looked at the Josephus was, all right, so this book is called Joseph, The Complete Works of Josephus, Antiquity of the Jews. So Josephus had many writings: The Jewish War, Antiquity of the Jews, Against Apion, and The Life of Josephus. All right, so a lot of them are written around, the last three was 93 AD to 99 AD. The Jewish War was like 75 and 79 AD. Now, the Antiquity of the Jews is what we're reading now, which was 93 AD. Now, it says Josephus wrote Antiquity of the Jews to present Jewish history to Roman audiences in a way that was understandable because they can't read our book.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know nothing about in our Bible. When white people read our Bible and hear the dark sayings of how black people talk and the slick words that we say, they're not going to understand it. Just like that scripture that says, I'm at the crib, what's that one about the crib and the ox? The ox know of his owner, and the ass his master's crib. Now, is it talking about a baby crib? No. You would know that because you black and you know we say crib is a home.
If I may, sir.
They can't understand that kind of writing. Go ahead.
Kind of one kind, sir. Slocky. And what's so heavy about that is black man, Native American man, Hispanic man. You use the term crib describing your house today, describing your home today. I'm at the crib. Kudash called me up earlier. Hey, Habawan, where you at? Can you do such? I'm like, yeah, I'm at the crib. I pull up. You use that same terminology today, black man, Native American man, Hispanic man. That's how you know that this is written in the same language that you, in the same verbiage that you speak to today is written in slang. With this Bible being written in slang, right? I'm gonna put this out, then I'm gonna end it. Just say, Kudash, he one of my favorite rappers. I need him to put out some more verses because he's playing around. Because I need some more rap to come out. You know, he got me listening to little all this other little this and little that because he won't put out no rap. Now, when he put out some rap, I go through the language of what he has rhymed and what he's put together. I'm listening to it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, he had a verse in what was that song you got that we used for the intro? But and the thing about it is, if he puts something out, who you think is going to be able to understand what he's saying in this rap? Me or some damn Edomite that studies African American culture?
Well, to put it simpler, white people got to go through a whole learning process of coming into our hood.
Kind of what kind?
Like if they move in our hood, if they move and integrate, they got to learn a whole different language of what they speak. They got to learn what op mean, peel your cap back, all of this type of language that we got. They got to know what a John means out in New York, Philly. You got to know a bunch of stuff, and this is the reason why Josephus, the Edomite, wrote this. It says, Antiquity of the Jews was wrote to present Jewish history, which is talking about us real Jews, not Jewish. Jewish history to Roman audience in a way that was understandable and respectable. He wanted to demonstrate that Judaism, which it wasn't Judaism, we was following the Most High, but that's what they think we would follow. So he wanted to demonstrate that Judaism was ancient and noble tradition, not inferior to Greek and Roman culture. So Greeks and Romans thought themselves to be superior and this and that. He wanted to show them, no, that's not no inferior book. It's not an inferior book, and their culture is not inferior either. All right, so that's why it was presented that, and it says this was particularly important after the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD, as many Romans viewed Jews negatively. All of these Romans viewed Jews negatively, and to get that out of their head, he went and presented this to Romans and Greek people at that time.
Yes. So what's so heavy about that is, and for you Native American man, you black man, you Hispanic man, ask yourself this question: does these Edomites, does these oppressors view you negatively now? Right? And your answer has to be yes, because you have to take a look at what's going on in today's society and compare it. Now, this was, if they looked at you in 93 AD negatively then, right? So it's 2005. 2005 plus 93 years is how long ago that was. They viewed you damn near 2,100 years ago. Over 2,100 years ago, they viewed you negatively. You were negative. The things that how they view you is, soon as something happened to you, they look at your criminal record. That stuff went on then, right? As soon as something you come out, you're the person that the police are going after. You call the police out, they come and arrest you, or they unalive you. That was going on then. You call the authorities out. That was going on then. They hurt you then. It's still going on today. So they're only viewing you in the same way that they viewed you then. Their view of you has not changed.
And matter of fact, let's get deeper, because we we're damn near going off into just talking about the origin of this book. Gets off into the history stuff that I was talking to the brother last week about.
Now you owe me that Chronicle Lineage breakdown, but I'm not going.
We're gonna get off into a portion of it. Now we just read that the reason Josephus created this book is to present it to not Jewish, but Romans and Greek people that viewed Jews negatively. Now let's get into why they viewed us negatively. Why did they view us negatively? Because guess what? We were in captivity under the Greeks. They got something, it's a word called Hellenized. All right, let's look up Helen. I'm going to get Helen.
Stumping like you Greek because you're Hellenized.
The origin of the word Hellenized.
Bar by Zerah.
Helen. Now watch what it says. This is what was going on in Greece. So it says the word Hellenized comes from the Greek root Hellenizo, which means to speak Greek or to adopt Greek. The Greeks wanted everybody to adopt them. I guess, and I ain't
adopt their cultures and ways, sir.
They wanted everybody to join their white supremacist doctrine and their way of life. Because they're looking around feeling inferior to everybody else. And they definitely was feeling inferior to the Persians because the Persians had us in captivity before they did. So they live right next to the Persians. Like in the landmass, you have, I think Greece would have to cross over Greeks would have to cross over through Macedonia to get to Persia.
Okay.
Last time I looked at the map, so they was that close. They could have either came over by water and got over there to Persia, or went through Macedonia around the top, like we got the
Canada,
the Upper Peninsula. They have to do something like that to get over there. So they're close. And why is this even important? That the Greeks were so close to the Persians that had us in captivity. Because anybody that had black people in captivity, you could see us shine even in slavery. You could see the talent and all kind of stuff that's coming from that area. Them looking at us, they want a piece of that too. They end up putting us in captivity. Then it got so point that, and think about it, Edom might put us in captivity. They're going to feel inferior. Why we in captivity? They wanted to erase our culture. Let me get the rest of this Helen. They wanted to erase our culture. It says Helen, which means to speak Greek or to adopt Greek. They wanted us to adopt the Greek way of life, and they still want us to adopt it because when you go to these colleges, you got to bend over and get spanked and do all kind of stuff to get in a weird lifestyle. And
speaking about those hazing practices, is that it's always a LGBT-ish hazing that goes on, right? Think about this, right? You a man bends another man's over and takes a long stick, right, and slaps him across his rear end, right? He not this kid, father. He's not punishing this kid. No, it's because you got to get smacked on your ass so you can join us.
So let me finish reading this because my phone on like 3%.
You need a charger, sir?
Where do I got it? I think I left it in the car.
Well, go ahead. So
let me try to skim through it. It says Helen originally referred to the Greek people in their culture. Helen was used in ancient times to describe non-Greeks. Hellenizo was used in ancient times to describe non-Greeks who adopted Greek language, customs, and the way of life. The English term Hellenized came from this Greek verb and is used to describe and spread Greek culture, especially during and after the conquest of Alexander. Now, this Alexander the Greek or he's not great at all.
I understand.
But this person wanted to spread this Greek mess around, and they did spread it around. And it says the name Helen has a debated origin. Some scholars believe it comes from the Greek root meaning shine or torch, to link, linking it to light or sun related meanings. And then the other one, meaning moon, suggests connection of celestial bodies, or Helen of Troy, the famous figure from Greek mythology, popularized the name. So these Greeks is worshiping false gods. They're not following Christ. Christ's not born yet. They're not following the Torah. So these people were.
Sir, if I may, this was 93 AD.
Hold on,
when Josephus read this in 93 AD.
Josephus did this in 93 AD.
And this was before.
This was before Josephus. So now you got people, you got Greek people that got Israelites in captivity, and guess what religion were they following? This is why it's important to notice. What religion were these people following at the time? They was following Helen of Troy. They was following something else other than the Bible. So when people try to blame the Bible as for brainwashing us, you're wrong. And then when you get down to the Romans, which came after Greece, which took after Greece, then now you see. Let's ask another question. What were those Romans following at the time of Christ? Were they following Christ? No, they was not. Herod was not following Christ. He wasn't born yet. They were worshiping serpent gods and all kind of pagan activity. And this is where Constantine and certain people got their doctrine from. This is just a snippet of that history that we could go into. What we're going to do in the week, I don't know if I'm going to be here, but what we're going to do in the future is I'm going to supply the brother with, we're going to work and go through the timeline. Go ahead.
What's so heavy about what you're saying?
No,
we're still right here in the scripture, sir. What's so heavy about what you're saying is that if you go back to 12 and verse 12, right? It says, "For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite the firstborn in the land of Egypt." Right? Understand, it said, "I will smite the firstborn in the land of Egypt." The most powerful god in Egypt at the time wasn't the water god. It wasn't the god that looked like the locust or the frog. You know, it wasn't Happy. It wasn't Depth. It wasn't those gods. The most powerful god in Egypt at that time was Pharaoh, right? And understand that each one of these plagues that the Lord sent upon the Egyptians, each one of these plagues, I don't want to say, I could say mirrored or made a mockery of one of their gods, right? Understand, you got this, you're worshiping this frog god, you got dead frogs all throughout the street.
No.
You're worshiping the water god, you got water that's poisoning and unaliving and unaliving people because the water is poisonous to the Egyptians, right? So the Most High God is making a mockery of their God. Their most powerful God was Pharaoh, right? Because think about it, Pharaoh controlled all those things, regardless of what happened. Even their sorcerers and the magicians that came out, they listened to Pharaoh.
So now, when you say that Pharaoh was the most powerful God, I got a question for you. Would they celebrate? Was Pharaoh the one making people celebrate his birthday?
Pharaoh, I don't know about this particular Pharaoh, but at the same time, is the people, Pharaoh forced the people to worship him, right? And with him being the most powerful God, what I'm saying is that whatever he says goes. There's no, think about it, if you go against Pharaoh, you're executed. The Hebrews that if they were chosen to go against Pharaoh, they were going to be executed. That's why you got the Roman soldiers, the Egyptian soldiers followed the Hebrews out and met them at the sea before the sea was parted, because they were either going to come back or they're going to be unalived. Pharaoh was the most powerful being, right? Well, he thought he was the most powerful being in Egypt at the time, and the Most High God was just showing him, your power is nothing, is vain, is futile. It has no authority. It has nothing against a real, the true Most High God. And the Hebrews worship, right? The Hebrews followed the Most High God, and with them following their Most High God, right, through following Moses, right, because they still were practicing the ways of the Egyptian, just like Adawan explained how we were following the ways of the Hellenists, which was the ways of the Greek. Understand? We've been under captivity under every single nation, right? Under every single nation, the blacks, Native American, Hispanics, the Israelites, the Hebrew, whoever you want to call us at the time. We've been under every nation. We've been subjected to every nation. And the reason why that you've been subjected to every nation, the reason why you've been under every nation, because your stiff-necked self choose not to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God.
Now think
right?
about this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a heavy point of how somebody become a God. In Genesis chapter 40, in 20 verse through 22, Pharaoh had us celebrating his birthday. He was celebrating his birthday. It said, and it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants and lifted up the head of the chief butler and the chief baker among his servants, and he restored his chief butler.
So again, this is a different Pharaoh. That's why I said I don't know,
but this is a Pharaoh before.
So he probably followed the same customs.
They following the same customs of this Pharaoh, because that's how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It starts off as some old tradition. 100 years down the line, they're celebrating birthdays. And I'm not saying that the Israelites celebrated his birthday. I'm saying that adds power to these people becoming gods.
Because if you look at it today, just say somebody got a birthday, right? It's their birthday, whatever. And if you choose not to wish this person happy, you ain't wish me happy birthday. Nigga, it sound LGBT-ish, right? You're a grown ass man. You got dollars pinned on your chest, on your shirt, and you walking up to another grown man. You ain't wish me happy birthday and pin no dollar on my shirt. No, I'm not touching your chest, nigga. I'm not saying all that happy birthday and all that kind of. I'm not saying that to you because you're a man and I expect you to be one, right? So you go out and pout and cry because this other man didn't wish you happy birthday. That sounds a little effeminate to me, sir. I don't know how somebody else can take that.
Well, what you mean about the birthday?
Yeah, about the birthday. Think about if you don't wish somebody in the world happy birthday.
Well, think about the spirit of them when they say that you better wish.
Yeah, because
you said think about when they don't. Think about the process of them trying to get you to do that.
Yeah,
and where it originated from. It come from an aggressive nature of unaliving somebody. If you don't pay no attention to me, it's my birthday. What peasant would be able to get people to celebrate his birthday while a king was sitting over there? Nobody.
None.
Who's gonna celebrate your birthday?
None.
Now, if the king says celebrate my birthday, death come behind that if it doesn't get celebrated. So now you understand how these people become gods, because who's celebrating you? Why are they celebrating you? I can see if you was doing something, but you're not doing nothing but putting us in captivity.
That's it.
We all struggling under your leadership.
Damn right.
So they was celebrating birthdays by force, which gave these people power that lasted for decades and centuries after they died, which made them gods. It was my whole point.
It's still going on.
Certain
to this
stuff
day.
Like that made them gods. But go ahead. I ain't mean to throw you.
No, you ain't throw me off, because what I want to do is get to the last part of this same scripture in Exodus chapter 12. Right? It says, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods. That's what I was getting at. Yeah. Against all the gods of Egypt, I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. So the Most High God not only unalive all the firstborn man and beast, right? He cast judgment against their gods, right? Against their gods. Think about this, and this was what I was getting at. when I said they worship the Happy, the water god, or Nep, or all these other gods that they were worshiping. When they worshiped these gods, the Most High God was casting judgment on their gods because what? At the time of the Passover. Because guess what? Israel, you decided to do what the Lord told you to do. You decided to, okay, cool, I'm gonna eat this food in haste. Before I eat this food in haste, I'm gonna sacrifice this lamb. I'm gonna take this lamb on the 10th day, right? I'm gonna keep it to the 14th day. On the 14th day, I'm gonna sacrifice this lamb. I'm gonna take the blood and I'm gonna put it on the doorpost. Right after I put the blood on the doorpost, I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna put my shoes on. I'm gonna put my gear on. I'm gonna be ready to go. Right, we're gonna prepare this lamb. We're gonna roast it. We're not gonna boil it. We're gonna roast it. Right, we're gonna roast it with fire, and we're gonna eat. We're gonna have our fill, and all that's left over. What we're gonna do is take that. There's all that's left over. We're gonna burn it up. Right, because the Lord is going to pass through Egypt tonight, sir. The Lord is going to pass through Egypt tonight. With the Lord passing through Egypt tonight, right? All firstborn shall be unalive, right? That's 11:5. Right? So if we go back, I'm gonna jump to this is Exodus 11:4, right? It says, and Moses said, thus said the Lord, about midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, verse 5, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die. From the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon the throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of the beast, right? Understand that the Most High God said the firstborn of everything. And with Pharaoh being the Most High God has already made a mockery of all their other gods, right? Now it's time, right? And then he hardened Pharaoh's heart each time he hit him with a plague. Now it's time for the death blow, right? Understand, we serve a God that like to floss, like to shine, like to say, ain't nobody power. Oh, right? It's nobody's power, but the Most High God's power to right? There's no one's authority, no other power. Slack, yes, sir. There's no other authority, no other power except the Most High, right? And Pharaoh was a powerful being in Egypt at the time, right? With Pharaoh being a powerful being in Egypt, the most powerful being in Egypt at the time, right? And Egypt was Pharaoh, right? Anything that Pharaoh said happened. Anything Pharaoh wanted to do happened, right? So Pharaoh was the most powerful god, right? Lil G in Egypt at the time. With him being the most powerful god at the time, the Most High God had already mocked the other gods of Egypt, the other deities. The Lord had already mocked. I'm gonna poison your water. Pray to your water god and see if your water god is gonna change what I've made happen. Right? You got a god that look like a frog. All right, go ahead. I'm gonna have these frogs plague you in everything. Every time you turn a stone over, every time you lift up a cup, you put your jacket on, you put your coat on, you put your sandals on, you're gonna have a frog in it. Right? You're gonna have a frog in it. Then last week we learned about the plague of the lice. Right, you know what type of people get lice? Egypt, right? Think about this, Israel. When you see those, they used to have commercials about them. Now I don't know, I don't see too many commercials about them no more. But you used to see commercials about the lice, and you didn't see too many of us. It was said that our hair was too oily to have lice. Our hair was too oily. I don't know how true that is. That's just what was said. But at the same time, is when you see these lice outbreaks in the school, guess who was attacked? It's not you, Israel, right? It's usually a Edomite, and now they got to put some type of quarantine, right? They got to de-lice the school and all that kind of stuff because one of these unclean Edomites have brought lice into the school, right? What we got going on? Let me check the comments real quick. Who we got? Oh, it's Tonica again. I mean, Tanika. Shalom, sis. You know, anybody else we got in there? Any questions? If you have any questions, comment, go ahead and put them in there. We'll go ahead and continue to answer, right? So let me continue on with this, right? So we've seen from last week to this week, we've seen the Most High God basically just shine all on the Egyptians, flossing, showing how great his power is, right? Think about this. The Lord is not using bombs and like man does, or spears, or he's not using any type of weapon, man-made weapon, or, you know, to destroy the Egyptians. What he's doing is what we call natural resources. You know, I mentioned this last week. What we use, or what we call natural resources. Think that the frogs, the lice, that's of nature. The water, that's of nature, right? The unaliving of the firstborn of Egypt, right? That was that was the attack. I'm not going to say it was a soul attack on Pharaoh, but that was attack against Pharaoh, because Pharaoh's son was unalive during this time. And Pharaoh was like, hey, you unalive my son. And then, you know, when we continue to read, right, I'm going to go back to Josephus. And this is why Pharaoh, because of the unaliving of the firstborn, this is why Pharaoh said, you know what? I'm going to let those folk go, right? But understand, after every plague, Pharaoh hardened his heart and wanted the Hebrews to come back and start to serve him again, right? Was it any different after the plague of the firstborn? No. And the reason why I say no is because that's when the Egyptian soldiers followed after the Israelites, the Hebrews. That's when the Egyptian soldiers followed after them, right? Because the Egyptian soldiers, their job was to gather up those Hebrews that left and bring them back to Egypt, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to jump to the book of Josephus, right? Like I keep saying, this is book 2, Antiquity of the Jews, Salakia. We read chapter 6, right? So this is chapter 14, right? And this is how the Hebrews, under the conduct of Moses, left Egypt. It says, so the Hebrews went out of Egypt while the Egyptians wept. Now understand, this is after the plague of the firstborn. We're still there. So the plague of the firstborn is hit. Firstborn beast, firstborn man, firstborn everything has been unalived by the Most High God. Scientists prove it. Prove how Moses split the Red Sea. Prove it. They want to say, oh, the sea dries up at such time. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Right? Science can't prove the things that our God, the Most High God, science can't prove how these things happen. They keep saying that there was a great boom, and after that great boom, it created all the you got the galaxies and the universe and the planets and the suns and the stars and the what is that, the other things that's out there in space. And so it created the fish and all this kind of stuff. A great boom did this. These scriptures say the Most High God said, let there be light. Now, the Most High God said, let there be light. Man said it was a sound. Now, I understand that after when there's, when you see an explosion, right? Understand that you see the light first, because light travels faster than sound, right? Light is so much, I have to get those numbers. Light is faster, almost twice as fast as, no, I'm not going to say that. Light is a lot faster than sound, right? And I'm not going to pull those numbers up right now. But light is faster than sound. With light being faster than sound, the Bible said, let there be light. Man said it was a big boom, the great boom. Let there be light. The great boom. the light will get to you faster, much faster than the sound to get to you, right? So that's what I'm trying to explain is that's how slow, if you can do a comparison of how slow man is compared to God. You know, you look in the scriptures, the Bible says that his ways are not our ways, speaking on the Most High God. I'm paraphrasing the scripture. Like the Most High God's ways are so far above our ways. It's like the heavens above the earth, right? Right. His ways are so much higher than our ways. Understand this is that light is so much faster. God said, let there be light. Man said it was a great boom. Light is faster than sound. Right. But to go back, it says, this is chapter 15, the antiquity of the Jews. This is paragraph 1. It says, so the Hebrews went out of Egypt while the Egyptians wept and repented that they treated them so harshly. So the Egyptians are repenting that they treated the Hebrews so harshly because they believed they were superior. Pharaoh had the Egyptians, I'm not going to even say thinking. Pharaoh had the Egyptians knowing they were superior to the Hebrews, right? You have a story in about how you had a Egyptian beating and chastising and a Hebrew. Moses unalived this Egyptian, right? Took him somewhere, hid the body, right? Left, come back. Then you got a Hebrew talking about, oh, you got two Hebrews fighting, and Moses trying to break them up. And they're like, hey, you trying to, you gonna do us like you did the Egyptian? So Moses like, oh man, I got to go on a run. Moses had to go on a run because of the people that he tried to save, the people that he's trying to help be delivered out of Egypt, the people that he's trying to help get out of Egypt. He had to run and had because these people was gone. They could have reported him to Pharaoh, right? And if they would have reported him to Pharaoh, guess what? Pharaoh would have tried to come after Moses and put him in prison or whatever. You never know what may happen. I'm not going to speculate, right? So now they took their journey by Letopolis, a place at the time deserted, but where Babylon was built afterwards, where Candace lay Egypt waste. But as they went away hastily, on the third day, they came to a place called Belzephon on the Red Sea. And when they had no food out of the land of Egypt, when they had no food out of the land because it was desert, they eat of loaves kneaded of flour, only warmed by a gentle heat, and the food they made use of for 30 days. For what they brought with them out of Egypt would not suffice them any longer time. And they only, while they dispensed it to each person to use much only as would serve for necessity, by not the sanctity, whence is that in the memory of they want. I got it. Hold on. In memory of the want where. In memory of want we were therein. We kept a feast for 8 days. Now, this is the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is called the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? Understand, after the Passover begins the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread for 8 days, right? But keeping the Feast of Unleavened Bread for 8 days, which means you don't eat anything with rising yeast in it, right? Think about it. They didn't have, when they were out there, during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, they didn't have the yeast to make the cakes rise and the bread rise. They didn't have that. Understand? They left in the haste. So when they left Egypt in haste, we taking what's necessary. We taking what we got to take, and we got to get gone. Because understand is that once the Lord unleashed this plague, the Egyptians would have been throwing the Hebrews up out of Egypt. They went to Pharaoh. Think about it. They went to Pharaoh, and they told Pharaoh, let these people go. So the people told the king, that's like your people going to, these people going to Donald Trump, Tom and Joe and Jerry and Karen, right? They all go to Donald Trump and say, let them niggas go. Because what's going on with them is causing us much heartache and pain. Let them go, right? And Don, they call him, what do you call himself? The Don. The Don. So now he went from being German to Italian. Right? Slovakia. So we're right here. It says, and when they had no food out of the land because it was desert, they will eat loaves of knitted flour. Okay, let me jump down. It says, in a while, it's dispensed to each person. Whence it was there the memory. Okay, feast of unleavened bread. It say, now the entire multitude of those that went out, including the women, the children, and not easily to be numbered, right? So, but those that were of age and fit for war were 600,000. So understand this is that the number of people that left Egypt, according to Josephus, was not. It was hard to number them, but the number of those that was that could fight, that was a war age. Understand is that with our people, with us Israelites, us true Israelites, the true Jew, we don't want our women and our children. We don't want them fighting. Right, our women are delicate to us, but the Edomite, these other nations don't mind. They don't care if their women have to fight. They don't look at the suppressors armies right now. He don't care if his woman have to fight. He'll train her ass to carry a gun, go out and run and shoot. Right, train her to run and shoot. Here, take this gun, bitch, run and shoot. That's what he'll do to her. Right, we know, woman, be delicate. Right, go out. You don't have to be, you see this, you see that in today's land, when in today's society, when you a woman be like, I got to be the man and the daddy, the mama and the daddy. Shut up, you stupid. And the reason I'm not gonna get into that, that's another class. But you shouldn't have. You don't have to do that. You're stupid, right? I'm looking at it. It's like you got to be the mama and the daddy. No, be the mama, right? Make better choices in men, and men, you make better choices in women. Don't just get the woman with that badunkadunk, right? Get you a woman with some morals. Get, ladies, right? Choose the man that you got to understand you're going to spend the rest of your life with, right? But like I was saying, that we don't want our women to go to war. We don't choose for our women to go fight. That's why when you'll see the UPK brothers out there at camp, right? You don't see no woman out there at that camp speaking, right? Not behind them lines. You won't see no woman back there behind them lines. You won't see a woman with us on the streets, because our women, we protect them. Hey, baby, you stay at the crib. If you got multiple wives, hey, baby, y'all stay at the crib. You go to your house, or y'all come over here, chill, do some arts craft, cook something, have some food for me when we come back. I'm going to war, and I'll see you later, because I'm gonna come back, right? So, with that being said, they numbered their women in this 600,000 that could go to war. That's how Josephus numbered our women, right? So everybody, man and woman of age that can go to war here in the United States, you could go to war at 18 years old. So imagine every woman and man 18 and up, because you can go to war 18 and up, right? Every woman and man 18 and up, right? They were numbered, but then we had so many children, right? Adolescents and teenagers and toddlers at the time that couldn't be numbered. So it was hard to count us all. But every man and woman 18 and up was about, and this is war age. I'm just using. I'm not saying it was exactly 18 and up, but every man and woman of war age, it was about 600,000 of those individuals, right? I'm gonna go a little bit more before I end the class, right? It says they left Egypt in the month of Xanthus on the 15th day of the lunar month, 430 years after our father Abraham came into Canaan, but 215 years only after Jacob removed into Egypt. It says it was the 8th year of the age of the 80th year of the age of Moses. So it's saying Moses was 80 years. And of that of Aaron, 3 more. So Moses was 80, Aaron was 83. They also carried out the bones of Joseph with them, and it was charged his sons to do. Right? I guess that we can get how much time we got. Right? So understand this is that the Passover, which we will be down in Atlanta celebrating the Passover, right? April 12th of this year, right? Understand we got some functions and some things going on before that, different type of things going on. They got a Madden tournament. I don't play video games, but they got a Madden tournament going on. You got to look it up, call headquarters and find out when it is. I'm not exactly sure when it is, but for you football playing, video gamers, it's something for everybody to do, right? They're going to have so much at the Passover, and each one just gets bigger and greater, right? This is the family reunion of all family reunions, right? Imagine being able to go to your family reunion and you don't got to see pedophile Ed, Petty Eddie. You don't got to see Petty Eddie, right? You don't got to see late night sneaky uncle. There ain't no late night sneaky uncles at the Passover. Your kids are safe. The young women are safe. The young boys are safe, right? The young men are safe because you don't have that. You don't got we're not going to see the carjackers and the B&Eers. You don't have that at the Passover, right? You don't have that because these are men and women that have the Lord has called, the Most High God has called them, and these men have changed and they raised up families, and you get to see the families of the men that were raised up by the men under Commanding General Yohana that understand and know this here Bible, right? Come there. It's $200, right? Understand it's $200. If you go to a concert in the world, think about what Adawan was just talking about, Kodash, before he left. He was talking about the black party. The black party is going to be filled with celebrities out of Israel, and it's going to be filled with some celebrities that's in this rappers and singers that's not in the truth, right? We're going to invite those individuals down there. They're going to perform for you, Israel, right? Commander General Yohana has set all this up so that you can have a excellent time. And that's just the black party. And the reason why I bring that up, because this is a party. It's going to be, last year it was, now don't tell nobody I told y'all this, Israel. It was free drinks. We had free drinks at the black party, right? You spend $200 for your Passover fee. You get into all the events. Now, this is one of it. You got drinks and you got food at the black party, drinks and food at the black party, and also you have these celebrity performers that are coming in to entertain you at the black party. right? So these individuals got to be paid. They got housing, they got a collaborates that follows with them, that has to come with them, as far as their security, their this, their that, things that they need in order for them to show up at a show, to do this, right? You guys spent $200 for your Jeezy tickets, for your Lil Wayne tickets. Beyonce tickets was going for $1,000. You could have got 5 grown, because the Passover fee only $200 for people 18 and up, right? If you look according to America, people war age. It's only $200. Pay your Passover fee. Get down there and see what we doing in Atlanta, right? April 12th, under Commanding General Yohana. If you're not in the ISUPK, you're not in the truth. I'm going to say Shalom Israel, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabrakatah to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Lathabah Hashem Yahweh Shah to the sisters, and in this class, Shalom Israel.